It seemed like long ago you took to the website and voted on Fan Night. And this is the game that America and the world elected to see on NBA TV tonight. It is the Hornets and the Bulls. Our coverage gets underway on NBA TV at 7:30 with the AutoTrader.com pregame show. Ernie Johnson, Greg Anthony, and Smitty will all be on hand. We welcome you back into the studio. 3D, Bones, Jared, Sekou is still locked up back there. We'll check in with Twitter a bit later on. But first to the game that you selected, the Hornets and the Bulls. Second time they're meeting up this year. Earlier in the year, the lowest scoring output of the season for the Hornets, just scoring, really struggling in that contest, 67 points against the Bulls. So it should be a struggle tonight, 3D, for the Hornets.
No question about it. So with that being said, somehow they have to score some points. So number one, can they come out with a sting? Get off to a fast start. Because we know how Chicago plays that tough defense. So come out, get your crowd involved, try to keep them at bay. Number two, man the paint. Caveman and Okafor, the last couple games before the break, had big games. Have to slow down Boozer and Ashik and Taj Gibson. The rest of those guys coming off the bench along with Boozer. And Jared Jack. I know it's going to be tough, but don't smell the road, because if you do, you might get put to sleep. Derrick Rose, I think he's going to come back this second half of the season with a bang. We know all the injuries before the first half of the season. I just look for him to come back strong. So Jared Jack, you have to be on your A game. No jacking around. Get out there, play your game, get off to a great start.
Well, this is a good test for the Hornets as they try and make it 2 wins in a row, but they've lost 7 straight to the Bulls. The bigger topic with the Hornets this season is ownership. And earlier this weekend, during All-Star Weekend, Commissioner David Stern addressed the state of the Hornets' ownership.
We are in discussions with one group. We have another group in sort of second place, waiting to see how we do with Group 1. We're optimistic that we will make a deal with Group 1, and we're a little bit behind here because we haven't concluded our deal with the state yet, but I think it's moving closer day by day. It's progressing well, but it's not finished. We expect to have it finished, I'm told, in the next week or 10 days, and that's the period of time that we would like to hopefully have this deal for the sale of the club come into much sharper focus. But I'm optimistic that we will get it done.
So next week on The Jump, that could be our topic of conversation. Who will be the new owner of the Hornets? But now to the other side of tonight's matchup, the 27-8 Chicago Bulls. Bones, 3 points.
Well, Monty Williams actually was voting to not play against the Chicago Bulls in the first game, but unfortunately the schedule is the schedule. So, the Hornets being tested 4-2 in their last 6 games, starting to play better basketball, but going up against the beast in the Chicago Bulls, who, like we talked about, they struggle scoring. Chicago's second-best defense in the league. Secondly, Boozer bested. Well, not many times for Carlos Boozer in the wake of some injuries to Derrick Rose and some other guys. He's been very, very steady. The team is 19-2 when he goes for 16 points or more. So he's a good barometer for the Bulls, at least in terms of the offense. And then lastly, Rose rested. Derrick Rose did not play in the fourth quarter of the All-Star game, seemed to want to get his legs back, and smart choice by Tom Thibodeau to rest both his star in Derrick Rose and first-time All-Star Luol Deng. This is a team, 3D, I agree with you. Not only Rose, but this team getting themselves healthy, getting themselves righted, being ready for the second half of the season between Rose missing his 10 games, Deng missing 7 games with a wrist injury, only seeing Rip Hamilton for 11 appearances for the Chicago Bulls. Second half of the season, this guy right here is going to start to turn it on, get serious, and put the Bulls in a place where they're competing for home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
MC Bones, bested, tested, rested.
The TBR.
I like it. I like it.
Like it.
And as long as none of us got arrested at All-Star Weekend, we're good
Yes,
to go.
yes, we're still here.
What a sleep. You mentioned, I think that's the key for the Bulls the second half. They are now tied with Miami and Oklahoma City with the most wins at 27. But they did that not being at full strength. 28 combined games missed by their big three.
Well, I think it's important for Chicago to have home court. I think that this team is still young. This team feels like they have all the parts that they need in order to compete for a championship. But I feel like the energy of Chicago and being at home for them is more important than it is for Miami. Miami went through some tests last year, not only throughout the course of the Eastern Conference playoffs, but certainly in the finals, where if they went on the road, they're tested. The Bulls need home court I think because of their inexperience.
I agree. And don't forget what happened last year. They had home court, and LeBron went off in Game 6, so they need that home court advantage.
All right, trying to check in once again with Sekou as we go back over for the tweets of the week.
Gentlemen, I don't remember if anybody got arrested All-Star Weekend. I know a couple people should have been arrested after I saw some of the outfits in Orlando, but that's another story. Speaking of All-Star Weekend, guys, our tweets of the week. The reaction from the Sprite Slam Dunk Contest was pretty brutal towards Jeremy Evans. Hassan Whiteside, you telling me I could have won an NBA Slam Dunk Contest in high school? Jump over 5'5" Kevin Hart in a reserve dunk with a cam and a dunk, 2 balls, shaking my head. And then Roy Hibbert, Paul George's teammate, summed it up pretty simply: robbery. I didn't have a problem with the dunk so much as the process, the fan voting and
format,
no judges.
Format bad.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think anybody should be knocking Jeremy Evans.
No.
I mean, let's make that clear. But the process itself and the format and the way that it went down, I can see where there would be some gripes about it.
Room to make adjustments.
If you want to chime in and potentially be our tweet of the week next week,
Like those graphics.
log on to NBA.com and also check us out on Twitter. We're available to talk with you anytime, day or night, because Sekou just stays up all night and tweets with his fans.
Jared's still hunting for a tweet heart, Brent. Listen to it. Please tweet me. Please tweet me.
I want that tweet. When we return, we go back to Orlando. As 3D, well, he saw a lot this weekend, including this guy performing. That's next on The Jump.